So we we're going back to this one, which I started working on a million years ago. Do this so you guys can see what I'm doing because this is gonna have a lot of zooming in. So and then remember to pin Sky's message. Okay. I never know what to start. Oh yeah. Okay. So for today, I wanted to add. I know I wanted to add pictures to the walls, and then I need to fill in this little corner here. So let's color drop that. Gosh, this drawing has like a million layers on it. Okay, here. Oh, ah, well, I guess since it's just me for now, I'll just like draw quietly and listen to an audiobook. Hold up. Mm. Hmm. Okay, this is gonna look nice. was listening to an audiobook while drawing. How are you doing? Are you still do you feel ugh, words. Do you still feel sick? Oh my gosh. I was playing a video game, and it was, like, over, like, typing, because it was, like, an otome game, and, the main love interest would type with, like, the little, like, typed faces. Hold on, what are they called? These, right? And the love interest, my character, is like, "Oh my gosh, those are so outdated," and then I'm like, in real life, I'm like, "I use those." I was oof. I don't know, I like them because I don't know, I feel like, why not? It's fun to use emojis, but it's also fun to use those, you know? I feel better. Yesterday, my temperature was really high. Oof, that's the worst. Oh my gosh. So, for me, when I'm sick, I'm super talkative. So one time when I was when I'm, like, really sick, like, when I had, like, a fever, it's, like, 102 or something, right? And so, I'm like one day, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I feel, like, a bit cold," so I didn't really wanna go to school, but, like, I didn't feel like I had a cold, like, I just felt a bit cold, you know? But I didn't know that was the chills. So I'm like, "Hey, mom, can I not go to school today? I'm just not vibing with it," you know? Which is, like, a great way to say that, you know, it really gets the point across. So my mom's like, "No." So I go to school, and then I'm like, I'm like, I'm like really not feeling it. I'm feeling like really lazy today, you know, and I'm like really talkative. Like I cannot focus. I'm like talking a lot, and I'm like kind of bored. So I go to the nurse's office. I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling good, and like my brain's like, oh, I'm faking being sick, you know. And then the nurse is like, oh, let me just take your temperature real quick. I had a fever of 102.5 or something like that. And she's like, oh, you should be home right now. And I was like, oh, okay. So my mom had to go I think it was my dad. I no, it's my mom. My mom came pick me up. She had to, like, leave work for a bit. I felt kinda bad. Um, but I was like, "Oh." But I was super talkative. Um, I don't know, it's just being sick gets so boring sometimes. Like, I'm more talkative when I'm sick than I'm not sick. Like, even if I have, like, a sore throat, I'll type. I will type. I'm determined, you know? Um I use those too. I was what kind of show? I was going in and out of sleep. Oh my gosh, fever dreams are the worst. Ugh. I remember, last time I got sick, I had, okay, so I was playing Zelda before I went to bed. So I had a dream where I was Link, and I had to save, Zelda, right? But these skeletons kept removing my spine, and that's because in real life, my back hurt, because I don't know, my back just hurt, you know? Um, which always happens when I'm sick. It's like my spine hurts. And so, like, I kept fighting these skeletons and losing, and then I kept waking up and then going back to sleep and then dying to these skeletons. Oh, it was the worst. Ooh, theater art. Ooh, that's cool. So it's like a mashup Disney songs. I get to play Hook. I had a dream last night where a friend and I were in the SpongeBob musical, and I just need the world to acknowledge that it was a really weird dream. So I want there to be, like, all these little research papers. Oh my gosh, actually, I said this last stream, I think, but yes, not yesterday, 2 days ago, I went to my friend's play, and I haven't been to a play that wasn't, like, a classroom play in so long, ever. I don't think I've ever been to a play, outside of a school play. But it was a lot of fun, and they nailed their role. Oh my goodness. And, like, their brother was also in the play, and I was like, I'm really bad with name because I saw their name on the, like, roster thingy, like, that tells you, like, all the characters and who plays them, you know? And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's like their brother." And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, okay, so I'm bad with names. If I'm reading a book or watching a play or a movie, I almost never learn the characters' names. So I'm like, "Oh, what character is he?" And the entire time I watched this play, I'm, like, looking for him, and I asked the person behind me, "Oh, do you, like, know, what character this guy's playing?" And they're like, "Oh, that's supposed to be, like, this character," because they actually pay attention to the characters' names, you know? But even when I looked at the character, I'm like, "Doesn't quite look like him," but, like, I was like, "Maybe the makeup is so good that he blends into his role to the point where I can't even tell it's him." So I asked my friend afterwards, and my friend's like, "Oh, no, he didn't couldn't show up. He had, like, got scheduled for work. He wasn't even here today." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Um, I was kinda upset because even though my teacher knows my preferred name and uses it, well, oh, that's rough. I'm sorry. Oof. I don't know. Dead naming makes me sad. Although I did see, like this really cute quote online where it's like one trans person, met another trans person who had like used the name that they used to go by. So they used their dead name, you know? And they're like, I'm glad my old name finally found the person it was meant for. And I'm like, oh, that's wholesome. I was like, oh, that made me kind of teary eyed. But yeah, that's awful. I explained that really poorly. I hope I hope you understood what my sentence was trying to be. I was kinda upset. Oh, wait, I already read that part. So I'm kinda hurt and hoping I get, that when I get the pay bill, it won't I know, it also sucks because, like, I don't know if you're the sentimental type or not, but it sounds like the type of thing a lot of people would wanna keep for a while, you know? Although on the bright side, if you can get the PDF for it, you mean you're a digital artist, you can always change it. Photoshops it out, gets each one of the playbills and individually uses whiteout to change it. You're like, "Let me correct that real quick." Um, like, also the day um, he put the hall pass he put that on my hall pass, and his reasoning is, "Oh, your other teachers must know you by that name." And I was like, no. I was brave this year and actually told people, um, bold of him. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's a kind of thing you'd never assume, especially since, like, growing up, I remember teachers putting students' nicknames on the, hall passes or whatever, like, you know? So, like, if they can put a nickname, why can't they put someone's preferred name that's not their dead name? You know? Like, I literally had a teacher call me by, my middle name on all hall passes for a year, just 'cause none of my teachers knew my middle name. We did not talk about it. I just wanted to. In fact, a lot of teachers were surprised that was my middle name. We just never talked about it, but they could do that. Yeah, I crossed it out, and then was sad, and I was telling this kid in my class, and she took a pen and crossed out the name and wrote my preferred name. She spelled it wrong. But the notion made me happy. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Okay, I really want this room to be cluttered. I want this room to be disgustingly cluttered. I want the walls to be half invisible. Yes. But no, yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Ew, wrong brush. I don't know. I'll never understand why people are more okay with calling people by their nickname, but not their actual name change, like, when it comes to, like, trans people. It's so bizarre. So it's like, cause like, you are fine with calling people by a different name, unless, anyway, it's so weird. You should put an art book and sketches. Ooh, yes, I like that. Especially okay, low key, kinda hate this. Ew. Not really the biggest fan of these headphones either. I feel like I'd rather just have, like, the little plug-in headphones, if any. Oh my gosh, my best friend uses that little emoji all the time. In fact, like, I associate with it with her. She has the strongest, like, colon with 3 with the number 3 next to it vibes. Oh my goodness. I've had her on stream before. Tiny little picture. Hold on. Anywho, um, oh, we're making food pop art and sculptures. Ooh, that's cool. Oh my gosh, for years I used to keep like pieces of newspapers, um, with the idea that one day I would make paper mache. Did I? Occasionally, yes. But I did not have I had so much of it that it did not justify the amount I had was not proportional to the amount I would make over the years. Let's just say that. And like, how did I get all this? Whenever a teacher would be like, "Does anybody want this huge roll of paper?" I'd be like, "Yeah, of course. I'll take it." And just sat in my closet for years, taking up space. Um, but all I could think about is how much toilet paper is being wasted. Oh yeah, the paper I used was just stuff that the teacher was gonna throw out otherwise. But anyway, and I just like the idea that like maybe one day I'll recycle it, and I didn't. I mean, sometimes I did, but just not a lot. How much toilet paper is being wasted? Like, yes, we're using paper bowls as well to help with the base structure, but still. Yeah, that's one of the things I think about with like what's it called? Like some art channels produce a lot of physical art that like takes up a lot of space, like more space than you can fit in the house, you know? Um And, like, a lot of them are very specific to the person, and I think it's great to work on things that make you happy, you know? Who am I to judge? But at the same time, I can't help but think, like, when you run out of space, what do you do with all of that? Because a lot of these things are taking up materials, especially ones that, like, do other things with, like, what's it called? With picture frames and stuff, where they, like, cover it in glitter and stuff. And I'm like, I think it's cool that you're having fun, but at the same time, how are people gonna use this in the future? But also, I think people should be able to do what they want with it, you know? I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I don't think that there's a solution to this. I just think that, like, I think people should be able to do it, but also, like, a part of me is sad, if that makes sense. But I don't think people should be like, "Ew, you can't do that because you're using this picture frame," or like, "No one's using it anyways," you know? It's fine. Okay. I mean, I feel like you carry these live streams. The conversations always go so much easier when you're here. Okay, so, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I made my brother a sword shield out of newspaper. Anyway, I made a cake with lots of ooh. Oh my gosh. I had a project in high school where we had to use like this kind of like foam material, paper foam thingy, and then we had to build, like, something out of it, and I made this, like, arm claw power fist that my class thought was cool, and it stayed in my closet for 2 years, I didn't wanna toss it, but, like, what am I gonna do with this? But anywho, um, it also, it also it's also like a life-size cake piece. Yum, 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 It looks so nice so far. I love okay, so one thing about me is I don't like things that are too sweet, you know? I like the idea of it, so I'll, like, get something that, like, for instance, there's a lot of vanilla cakes that I just cannot eat because 'cause they're just so sugary, you know? And this is, like, not me, like, hating on sugar or people who like eating sugar or, like, "Oh my gosh, that's too much sugar, it's unhealthy." That's not what I'm saying. I was saying that it's, like, too sweet for me, you know? Um, but, like where was I even going with this? I love sugary objects. Like, I like wallpaper that has cake on it, and I love, why must they elude me? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I like pretty cake wallpapers. I love, like, all, like, my phone, all of my apps I've changed to look like little pastries. There's something so relaxing about pastries. I don't know why. Even if there's a lot of them I just do not like. Um, I had this rant post I made on my community tab about people who use cardboard in their art because it's so hard to work with. I say, like, respect because it's so difficult, but I hate it. Um, and it's totally not for me. But, like, if you work with cardboard, that's absolutely crazy. No, I agree. There's, like, a lot of, I think people need to become more comfortable with the idea that there's gonna be art out there that you don't like, not for a moral reason, but just because it's, like, not an aesthetic kind of thing you like, and I think that's fine. But at the same time, don't try to attach a moral reason to something when the real reason you don't like it is because of aesthetics. And I think there are lots of times in which you're not gonna like something for moral reasons. That's okay, you know? Um, like, for instance, there's this art piece where it's a kind of like these it's like a real cow, and it's, like, put between, like, these layers of glass and separated so you can look through the cow. And I learned about that in a art class, like an art history class. Personally, that makes me uncomfortable, you know? I think people should I'm not sure how I feel about it, you know? But anyhow, and, like, it was right next to his calf too, which was, like, the same anyway, um, not my thing, you know? But at the same time, I think that there's lots of art in which aesthetically is just not my thing. I can't there's no moral reason on why I don't like glitter, like glittery pictures, you know? Personally, I don't like glitter because I don't like the feeling of glitter, and because I associate the fact that I don't like the feeling of glitter with actual glitter. I don't like images with glitter on it because my brain's like, "Ew, I hate the feeling of that," you know? But anyhow, but, like, there's no, like I don't think, like, people who use glitter in their artwork are, like, doing some sort of harm or anything, you know? I'm also not gonna, like, go to a YouTuber who works with glitter in their art and then be like, "You can't do that because I don't like glitter." You know? But I see YouTube comments like that where people are like, "I don't like this thing, so you shouldn't be able to do it." And I'm like, "Okay, I think there are tons of things in the art community that are problematic. I don't think this is one of those things. I think you just don't like glitter, which is fine, but don't take it out on the artist." "Oop, I gotta eat dinner. I may or may not be back. Bye." Imma just go draw quietly in the void then. Anyway, nice talking to you. I hope that's, like, the most delicious dinner in the universe, and you sob because it tastes so good. Okay. Mm, I think some of these are just too big. Smaller. What brush is this? Huh. It's not the brush I started with. Okay. Shoop. And there's this one. Okay. Um, there's also this one. Okay. Mhm, 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 mhm. And then I think I'm going to erase this one or just like snap it out. Maybe down here. And draw these individually smaller. Boom. So basically, I don't want to make this too organized looking, you know? Um, okay. Because I want this to be like a kind of just a room full of research. Oops. Oops. Mhm. Okay. That's looking a lot better. Yeah, I think part of the reason it felt like such an open room is because the walls weren't cluttered, you know? Oh my goodness. Okay. Oof. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave it here for today and then come back and work on it again tomorrow. So, thank you everybody who watched. Oof.